calling 911 a bunch of times and calling his kid's school a bunch of times, complaining about the amount of homework that his son was doing. And he has since been arrested. Here's a little bit of the story.
Basically, the parent didn't like that his child was getting homework, so he decided he was going to call the school and call the school repeatedly over and over again. He calls dispatch, I think it was 18 times roughly.
I want to talk to the chief.
Leave a voicemail if he doesn't answer.
I'm being very nice.
Well, then come to the police department and we'll call the chief in and you can talk to him in person.
I pay for him. He can come to my house.
Well, I'm going to send some officers out to your house to talk to you in person since you won't stop calling.
And he got arrested, though.
Oh, gosh.
That seems a little bit much to be arrested.
Is it for like abusing the
yeah, I mean, there's some of that,
or something?
and I understand tying
And
resources.
I don't really blame this guy because sometimes it feels like it's an emergency when you see the homework they give now. I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Yes.
And a million things are going on. It's so long. How are you going to do this with sports and eating and dinner and getting ready? And how are you going to do this?
I mean, it is totally ridiculous. Just not the right avenue.
Yeah. Right.
Just not the right avenue.
And he's like, I pay the salary. They love hearing that.
Oh,
I pay your salary.
It gets you real far.
Yeah. We do have our official attorney, Lisa Lanier, to break this down. Also, something that happened with Kate Middleton after that.
Hey, Lisa.
Good morning, Lisa.
Hey, good morning. Hey, yeah, so this Ohio dad, where he really, I think he's, it's a mental health situation, I think. And I think where he went wrong and that what got him arrested was that when he also was calling the school first.
Right.
So he finished up, with the 911 calls 18, 19 times, whatever. But before that, he had called the school over and over and over. And he'd actually gotten, at first they took his calls, parent calls, they take the call. And he made what was considered a threat by the principal. He said, you better put your big boy pants on. And so the principal took that to mean like, I'm going to come down there and kick your butt, So he was afraid. He said he was afraid. So he told the police that on top of the guys calling them 18, 19 times. I think normally the way it would be handled would be a mental health visit, like a wellness check. And often if the person continues with that behavior and they seem like they're dangerous, then you would end up with an involuntary commitment. And so it's, that I think because he made the threat and, and it's, people are treated sometimes differently, if they don't seem like they're mentally ill, but they just seem like they're, rude or angry or whatever. And sometimes it's confusing to law enforcement officers, which it is. Is this person mentally ill or are they just a jerk?
Yeah, or they just
have you seen the homework, Lisa? That
you have teenagers that are excelling,
So, I'm sorry, say that again?
You have teenagers who are very successful and very good students, but they get tons of homework, I bet.
Oh, yeah, tons of homework. But, obviously the guy's pretty unhinged or he wouldn't be freaking out like this about it and calling and calling and calling. And it's really, it's probably a really sad situation. Maybe the kid's not doing well in school or something and the dad, who knows? It could be substance use. It could be mental illness. But it's sad, and the poor child is probably mortified.
I'm sure. Can you imagine? The whole school is going to find out.
And but the arresting takes it to another level. Yes. It's even more embarrassing. But what if it was over Common Core math? And I think that the dad's fine. Because somebody needs to be arrested for that.
Whoever created that
needs to be put away for a long time.
High school is just it's so much harder, I think, than when I was there. I was helping my son last night study for a biology exam, and oh my gosh, it was like, I was so over my head. I just had sort of gave up. I'm like, look at your text.
And that's Lisa saying that.
Yeah, that's Lisa. Who's super smart.
Like the rest of us have no hope. I'm not going to be able to help at all. I can't help now.
No,
I can't.
And your kids are,
young.
Third and fourth grade or fourth and fifth grade?
No, mine are third and first.
Third and first.
Third and first grade.
Oh yeah, geez. Yeah.
I think yours are third. What are yours? Mine are third and first.
Mine are 6th and 9th.
Yeah,
and then in preschool.
Mine are little.
It's hard. Oh, it's so hard in high school. And this guy, with the mental illness thing, I'm actually kind of going through something like that right now. I have a person who called my office with a case that we could not help with. There was just no avenue to help. But she, I think, suffers from some really significant mental health issues, and she is relentlessly calling and emailing.
Yeah.
Like 100 times a day.
Oh, wow.
And somehow she got hold of one of my employees in our intake department's cell phone number, his work cell.
Yeah.
But she's calling it at like 3 and 4 in the morning. And, you don't want to, I mean, I'm really torn because I don't want to be ugly about it, but she's got to stop. I've asked her to
stop, right?
Yeah, and it's awful. I mean, I have a lot of compassion. And this guy is probably in a similar boat. He's probably suffering from something like that, and they're not doing it maliciously. They really believe that this is some avenue to get help. It's really terrible.
Right, yeah, because obviously most parents know you don't call 911 because of homework. I mean, that's common. You also don't do it 18 times. All right,
yeah,
so
everybody knows you go to like the parent pages on Facebook and you just post a rant.
Right.
You go to the women's group on Facebook, and
because that's all I see.
Yeah, there's no dad groups really on Facebook. They're
You should
very
start
small.
one.
I think there is.
Are there?
Just not as popular.
Not that popular.
Oh.
Or have you dated this person? It's not popular. You know why? Well, that's a whole nother subject.
Yeah.
Because if a guy goes in there like, oh, I dated this girl, she treated me terribly, and they put a picture of her and she's hot, guys don't care.
Yeah, they're going to be like, give me your number.
Yeah, women want the warning of potential bad guys. Guys are like, don't care.
The guy's page would be called "Is She Easy?"
Oh my God.
It would.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
It would.
Yeah, and then just be pictures.
Yeah.
With very little writing.
And then what would happen is be like, man, she's crazy.
Yeah.
She's crazy.
We'd have like layout plan. Like, say this is your zodiac sign. Say this is your favorite this. This is your favorite that.
Right.
This is how you get this woman.
Yeah. Yeah, it would not be warnings. Or warnings would just be taken as, oh, okay. All right, so Kate Middleton, there's been this huge just controversy about the abdominal surgery, and then she's been out of the spotlight, then photo editing that's been...
Well, it started back in the beginning of the year when Kate Middleton, it was kind of shocking news to everybody because nobody had any idea. She was scheduled for all of these events, and then all of a sudden the palace releases this statement that says, for the next 3 months, Kate Middleton has canceled all of her engagements. She's having a scheduled abdominal surgery. You will see her in 3. Like, don't look for her until the next 3 months. Well, like 2 months go by, and all of a sudden, the press is in uproar. Like, we haven't seen her. Where is she? Is she dead? Is she in a coma? Is there a cheating sketch? Like, all these things. And it's like, the palace told us in the very beginning we weren't going to see her for 3 months.
Yeah.
So, but then there was a photo that was released that a lot of people are saying, well, it's acknowledged that it was Photoshopped, but then Kate herself... using that in quotations because not a lot of people think that she would do something like this where she's like, hey, that was me. I photoshopped it myself. People are like, no, she didn't. And that wasn't you who released that statement. But now there's info that maybe the hospital leaked some of her
medical
information, which is like HIPAA to the max.
Yeah, and I know the laws might be different there, but just in general, Lisa, well, how much trouble could these people be in that released these photos? I mean, information, I'm sorry. And then also, if someone did that here, how much trouble would they be in?
Yeah, so it's in Great Britain, they have a very similar sort of privacy set of laws around medical information. In fact, it's probably more strict than ours. They have a whole office that's called the Information Communications and Data Protection, Privacy. It covers all of that. Mm-hmm. And so they have like where we have like the FBI, they have a whole FBI just for privacy issues.
Oh, wow.
And so it is. So what the hospital said is, at least one clinic staffer tried to access her records. I don't know that they haven't admitted that information has been released, but they could tell that a staffer who, it's like if they can tell, because all medical records now are on computer, right? And so they can tell if someone has accessed that record who did not have any part in her treatment, who had no business viewing it, right? And so that's what has happened. And so we don't know if that person then turned around and tried to sell that information or told that information to somebody else. And but they know at least one person did it. So that person faces the equivalent of a misdemeanor charge in our country. But European laws are much more about reparation and rehabilitation and not incarceration. Like, they don't really incarcerate people for nonviolent crimes. So this person is facing the highest level of fine that you can face in Great Britain, which is, they call it the unlimited fine. So the court could say, our equivalent of like, $10 million or something if they wanted to. It's an unlimited fine. Now, I don't know, the extent to which they actually exercise that, but it will certainly be a hefty fine. And that's how they handle things there. And then, then the person's, wages are garnished and things like that so that they're forever paying it back.
Dang.
But their thought is like, don't put people, like this in prison where they then are no longer at all productive and we're keeping them up and whatever. But just make them pay it back for the rest of their life.
Yeah, I see that aspect.
I kind of like it.
Yeah, I do too.
I do.
For nonviolent type crimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if someone did that in this country, like for example, and Jason goes to this proctologist and they're talking about his BH to people and releasing his information, or me or whoever. Or Katie goes to the gynecologist.
Yeah.
I mean, Katie's had her legs in stirrups and they're like, "Hey, are you Katie from Jared and Katie in the morning?" She's like, "Yes, I am." So you don't know if they're going to be talking about it or whatever.
And that's the last thing anybody wants to be talking about when your legs are in stirrups. They're like, let's talk about your male coworkers.
So is Jared really that cool? And you're like, yes, he is. No, but seriously though, if something released private information in America, is there? I'm sure it varies, but what is the?
Well, of course, we have HIPAA, and so it really, what that turns on is these institutions having to pay hefty fines, and then the individuals who have their privacy violated then have, sort of common law claims against the healthcare provider for it. You don't often see, of course, the employee gets terminated. You don't often see people prosecuted here for that. Now, for somebody like this, we certainly have criminal laws that would loosely apply, but we don't have typically prosecution in this country for that sort of thing. They just fire the person and then deal with the HIPAA violations, but you don't usually see that.
So you're saying it falls more on the practice, the medical practice, than the individual
Correct.
person?
Yeah, it's usually here we really put the burden on the practice to keep the confidentiality, and it goes beyond just the employees viewing the records and things like that. It goes, there have been some pretty high-profile cases where, particularly dermatologists and plastic surgeons and dentists will display photographs on their website of their results and of their patients, or on a board in their office. Mm-hmm. And if they don't get proper permission, and that's a very long-standing practice, but if they don't get proper permission, that's a HIPAA violation.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah. Well, she's great, as always. If you're ever injured on the job, contact her right away at hireaheavyweight.com. That's Lisa Lanier, top 100 attorney in the entire country.